On this week's episode of Unlocked, I have Daryl-Ann Denner, right?
Right.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Guys, we were talking about this name thing before, and I was like, I'm probably going to butcher it.
Hey, you wouldn't be the first or the last. It's fine. It's a hard one.
Okay, so for people that don't know, you are the founder of Nuuds.
Yep.
Which is amazing.
Thank you.
I have to tell you what happened. So I saw, it was an ad or someone wearing it or something like a few weeks ago. And I was like, oh my God, I love that. And so I went to the Instagram to message, but your company Instagram had sent me a message like a year ago.
Yeah.
Was like wanting to send stuff, which I never saw it. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, I want this stuff. So you guys sent it to me. So that's what I'm wearing now. And it is the most comfortable thing ever.
I love it.
Like I have a long torso. So like a lot of them, like, they cut me in two in the front. Not a good feeling. And this one does not.
Good. Yeah. We made it so it doesn't give you, hopefully, a front wedgie. That was the whole goal. Nobody likes that.
No.
Nobody wants that.
No.
So
and when reading too, like about the company, because you have 4 other sisters, right?
I do. I have 3 sisters.
3 sisters.
I gotta count.
Like I do.
I gotta count. I have 3 sisters.
Okay.
And 1 brother. So 4 other siblings.
So 4 other siblings.
Yeah.
And your sisters were like a big inspiration for starting your business.
Totally. Yeah. We're like all, between me, my mom, my sisters, we're all like, we have totally different body types, totally different shapes. We range from like, I'm 5'1", and one of my sisters is like almost 5'7". And we, at the time, ranged from like an extra small to a 2X. And so I was like, I want to make something that fits us all. We all feel good in, flatters all of us, because we represented so many different body types. And I was like, let's just do it. I know we can do it better than what's out there.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And we used ourselves to like fit
that.
Yeah.
Because whenever you have a personal experience with something, it just, you can tell.
Oh yeah.
Like,
totally.
I mean, even just in the fit of it. I mean, I'm not just saying it because you're here, because I would probably tell you if I didn't like it.
Thanks.
When that's not the case. I love them.
I love it.
So if I read correctly, in college, you were pre-med?
Pre-med. Yeah. Okay. So I was a pre-med major, and I had always wanted to be a doctor, like my whole life.
Okay.
And then I got halfway through college, my undergrad, and when you start like clinical shadowing and actually like getting into what it would look like, and I was like, I hate this. And I tried out so many, and then I went the whole like dentist route. I was like, I got to use this somehow because I worked so hard for it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I hate it. So I added on a business major like at the last second, and I like finished it. I was like, in case. So I did that, and I don't know, I just kind of like put one foot in front of the other, but I knew I didn't really want to go the medicine route. And so I just tried different stuff. I like ran our family's construction company's accounting office. And then they asked, like a local private school asked me to be a chemistry teacher. So I was like, sure, I'll try it. And I just basically said yes to like whatever came my way. And so, yeah, I taught chemistry. And then while I was doing that, my husband was like, you should start it was blogging at the time. He's like, you should start blogging. And I was like, all right. He's like, you could do that. So I tried that in the middle of it, and then like just kept doing that as like a creative outlet, and it took off. And then
when would you say that it took off? Because I mean, you have a very dedicated, like huge following on Instagram.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, you know this, but I feel like it took off, every day for 8 years. So like to me, it like didn't
so
take off overnight.
Was there ever a moment that you saw it like spike drastically, or was it just a slow growth along the way?
Slow growth along the way. I think 2020 was like a big year for me overall. There was a point, like a pivotal moment in time where it changed. It was obviously slow growth ever since I started in 2015. But at the end of 2019, I had like had my son in the beginning of 2019. And like, I remember, it was like so iconic for me. Labor Day weekend of 2019. I had like super long extensions that everyone had. I had like hair down to my waist. And Instagram was like this perfect place of like, it was perfection
everything,
at the time.
Everything.
And so I just couldn't keep up anymore. Having just had a kid, I was like, I can't keep up this perfect persona. I can't do these perfect outfits anymore. I either have to quit or I have to just like be myself, like one of the two. And I cut off all my hair, and I just like took out all the extensions, and I cut it really short. And I just like started Labor Day weekend. I was like, I'm just going to either quit or just try being myself. And I did that. And then it just took off. I think I went in 2020, I went from 200,000 followers to 1 million in like a year and a couple of months.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I think people crave that.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
During that time, people were craving for first off, something to believe in, number one. And second, they wanted to know that like, hey, they're not perfect. Their life is a mess, just like my life's a mess. And we figure it out as we go.
Totally.
Because the whole perfect persona is exhausting to watch. Because it's like, I don't want to watch your perfect life. Like, have something wrong with it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that like, when I just like started showing, like I started showing my family, I started showing just like how I didn't know what I was doing as a mom, as a wife, as a person, you know?
Well, because
like,
you got married really young.
Really young. We've been married 11 years, 11 and a half.
Okay.
So I got married at 21. We waited to have kids until I was 28. And so I just like everything, I don't know. And having kids was such a life-changing moment for me. And so,
and was that something, it wasn't always something that you knew you wanted, right?
No. Oh gosh. So like, yeah, we waited a long time because I think with me, I've like tried to figure out like, why didn't I want kids? Because I come from like an awesome family. Like they're my best friends, my closest, like my siblings are my best friends. So I look at it and I'm like, why wouldn't I have wanted that? And it's not that I didn't want that. I really liked my life. Like as I loved being young, I loved having like a carefree life. I was like,
doing what you want when you want.
Yeah. Right. I was like, kids are going to tie me down. So like, why am I going to do that? I love where I am now. And then like we were talking and I was like, when I'm 50, I'm going to want a table full of my kids,
and
grown
grandkids.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to be alone. I know that. I know it's fun just him and I now, but I'm not going to want that forever. And so I kind of like, we always laugh because I feel like I just like closed my eyes and I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And like we did. And it was now obviously I've never met a person who says they regret having their kid, but still like I want 5 kids. It was the best decision obviously I ever made, but, yeah, it's
That's
super
awesome.
fun.
And so you got married at 21 and then you've been married 11 years.
I'm 32.
And so why the vow renewal?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we did a vow. Okay. So we wanted to do a vow renewal at 10 years because I don't know, iconic, whatever.
And
10 years.
being married so young.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear that it's like shocking that you've made it with getting married so young, especially in today's day and age?
Yeah, I think we grew up.
I love how you're looking. Okay, her husband's over there. So she's like, what's the right answer?
I feel like, okay, so we've been dating since I was 15. So
holy cow.
Literally, we met on a cruise ship when I was 15 years old.
Yes, you met on like the cruise teen room thing.
Oh, yeah. Teen club on a Carnival terrible cruise to Mexico from LA. And
Carnival's going to come at us because I said something in another podcast about Carnival and I was like, these cruises are... But
here it is. Yeah, my mom's worst nightmare. My parents were absolutely mortified. He was 18 years old and I was 15 years old. My parents...
Hey, I've had that.
My parents were like, strict Christian parents. They were like, absolutely not. This is completely unacceptable. And so I kept doing it. And then...
I kept doing it. It's fine.
Yeah. And then we went to college together, whatever. And we got married after we graduated.
Okay. But when you met on the cruise, we got to go back. Where did you grow up? Where did he grow up?
Okay, so we're both... Those LA to Mexico cruises are typically all Southern California people.
Okay.
And so we grew up like 45 minutes apart.
Oh, that may... okay.
Still,
so you kept it going after the cruise?
We kept it going.
Did you break up at one point?
Disdain at the time. What?
Did you ever break up?
Never. We've never broken up since I was 15. Not one time.
What?
No.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So we've been together. So literally, I don't really know my life without him.
Yeah.
So to say like, is it shocking? It's shocking just if I like look around, but I wouldn't know how to live life apart from him. I mean, literally we call it our sister, but one of my sisters is actually his sister. I met him when she was 4. So she's 21 now. So
she doesn't know life without you.
And she lives with my parents now, and we can't get into that. But yeah, she lives with my parents, and she's like, he met my brother when he was 6. So then runs Nuuds with us. So it's
that's
like
amazing.
Crazy. Yeah.
That is awesome. Also, too, when you just said, and he runs Nuuds with us, like for people that are just hear that, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. Yep. He runs Nuuds. My brother helped us found it. And so it's just
that's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
really
amazing.
Cool.
So what would you say? Okay. So the vow renewal, you always said you were going to do it at 10 years.
Yes. Okay. Gosh, I got way off track. So the vow renewal, we wanted to do it 10 years. And then we launched Nuuds in 2021. And our anniversary is at the end of July, and we launched Nuuds in the fall. And so it was just like at that moment in time, we had way too much going on to like do that and plan that and whatever. And so then we had planned for both of our sides of our family to go to Hawaii this year. And literally like 2 months before we were going out, it clicked. And I was like, wait, why don't we just do it there? We're already going to be there. And so then I like called up a planner and I was like, so in 8 weeks, we're going to Hawaii and I would love to just like make the vow renewal a part of it. And so we just planned it I do stuff like that all the time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm kind of that way because like, I don't know. I have this like fear of commitment of like planning something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if it's because I'm scared it's going to fall through or maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just wait till like last minute and I'm like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah. It was literally like I think it was 7.5 weeks before I called her and I was like, I want it in Hawaii, but I want it not to be looking Hawaiian at all. Like I want to
Yes.
just have it in Hawaii. And that proved to be extremely difficult because most people who have events on Hawaii want them to be very Hawaiian themed. So anyways, it was a very challenging little thing to pull off, but we did it. And it was
amazing.
It was so cool because we have gone to that spot in Hawaii since I've been going with his family since I was 18 years old.
Wow.
And so we did it at that same spot with our 2 kids. And there's like this tiny little chapel. It's called like Place of Joy or something, in the coves where we like always go. And we used to walk by it when we were dating, like when I was 18 years old. And I was like, oh my God, it'd be so cool to get married there. But knowing I would never, because it seats like 30 people. And I knew we would have like a wedding. But yeah, that's where we did it.
That's
like, literally
awesome.
11 years later. It was so fun. Oh my gosh.
So what would you say the key has been for you guys?
In marriage?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's a great question. Give me a second. Let me think about that. I think for us, one of the keys for us is I feel like we assume the best of each other at all times. Like I assume that Daniel always has my best interest in mind, and I want him to assume that I always have his best interest in mind. And I think knowing that, it helps us like play on the same team because I'm like, okay, I know you want what I want and whatever. And I think that just, playing on the same team, like we do everything together in our life. Like we work together. We obviously have our kids. We like our husband and wife. We do a lot of things together. And like knowing that someone's on your side all the time is huge and pivotal. And I think we assume the best. We believe the best. Like
that's a big thing. Yeah. Because a lot of times in relationships, it's so easy to just like assume the worst.
Yeah.
And when you're constantly on the defense.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Instead of being like optimistic and thinking, well, maybe they did mean it this way. Maybe they,
And I start on the defense a lot.
Yeah.
It's a reminder. Yeah. Like I start on the defense, but I think that, assuming the best and like we have like gotten to grow up together. And so I think that it's cool to have someone, that's believing the best in you also want what the best for you. So like Daniel, there's been times in our marriage where like, I mean, most of it, to be honest, where Daniel is like pushing me, encouraging me in what I want. And like to have somebody who always has like wants that for you is so cool. And so like, and same and vice versa, like getting to see him, he helps obviously run Nuuds, all the like, I do a lot of the marketing and all of that, but he runs the business part of it and getting to see him like take on this like huge company and run it has been so cool. And so like getting to like push him in that. And I don't know, we just like want to make each other better. I really
love
cool.
that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So when it comes, let's hear it.
On like the teen side, it's also like there's like some areas that like she will be like super busy, and maybe like talk about dishes, for example.
Yeah.
Like she'll be in the heavy season, I'll do the dishes. I'll be in the heavy season, she'll cover some of the responsibilities that like I have. Like we look at it all as like a whole, as a team, like us versus everything else, rather than like it's easy to get where it's like it's me versus her. Arguments is me versus her, but us versus everything else.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that like I feel like, and I say this about all the time, I'm like, my generation has done, you know, like mental health, we've like normalized that. Like it's okay to not be okay. But my generation has sucked in a lot of things. Yeah. And like relationships being one of them, of just like everything's so disposable. And if this doesn't work out, I can just get a new one. It's fine. Let me go shop on Instagram. Let me go, you know, on every which app I can swipe right or left on. And that's the biggest thing is it's like, hey, it's us against the world. It's not like me against you. And it's not, and I love what he said, because he was like, well, if she's in like a busy season, I can do the dishes too.
Oh yeah. We like bring 100, each of us bring 100. And so like not half, like it's not a 50-50 thing. Like we both bring 100. And I think like for us, I never, when we were talking earlier about like, is it crazy to think that we're still together with like, you know, so many things happening in the world? For us, it's never an option to not. Like that never, the word divorce has never come up one time in our marriage. We never talk about it. Like we've never broken up. We've never, like it.
That's amazing.
Just, we are committed in the long haul, and there's seasons that suck. I'm going to be honest. Like there's been years of our marriage, not years, like seasons, like
that are just
the year we
tough.
had, the year we had our son, that having kids for us was each time has been like a huge life-changing shift. And it's been like not our best season. And, but like, you have sucky seasons of life, and you're going to have sucky seasons of a marriage or relationship, and you just stick it out. Like,
well, and that's the thing is people are like, oh, it should be great. It should be great all the time. And if it's not, then we have to get divorced. And that's like what the mindset is in today's day and age.
Totally.
And I'm like, no, like you don't like throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, it's like things are tough and you work through it and you talk through it. And that's why it's like, I mean, I was engaged and like I called off my engagement because I was like, I don't want to be divorced. I'm not going to look at this like, sure, would I have loved to have had a great big wedding and all these things and all the business opportunities that came along with it? Sure. But like when you sit down, you're like, if this isn't going to last forever, like I don't want it.
No,
you know?
It's like, it is the biggest like life decision that you make as that person. And if it's the wrong one, like you don't want to make the wrong one. Like, so that's incredible that you call it, because you don't want to make you get to make it, you should make it, you know, one time, hopefully. And like, that's it. And obviously different things that happen outside of people's control. But yeah, for us, as long as it's just like hard seasons, like I go through hard seasons as an individual, just to think that I'm not going to go through it in a marriage and it's still, you know.
This episode of Unlocked is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Most of you listening right now are probably multitasking. Yep, while you're listening to me talk, you're probably also driving, cleaning, exercising, or maybe even grocery shopping. But if you're not in some kind of moving vehicle, there's something else you could be doing right now. Getting an auto quote from Progressive Insurance. It's easy, and you could save money by doing it right from your phone. Drivers who save by switching to Progressive save nearly $750 on average, and auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Discounts for having multiple vehicles on your policy, being a homeowner, and more. So just like your favorite podcast, Progressive will be with you 24/7, 365 days a year, so you're protected no matter what. Multitask right now. Quote your car insurance at progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June of 2022 and May of 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations. Support for today's episode comes from JENNI KAYNE. Perfect timing, honestly, because fall is on its way and my wardrobe could definitely use a refresh. JENNI KAYNE is a California brand through and through, and their staples make getting dressed easier than it's ever been before. Think minimalist and effortless, but totally refined. From luxurious cashmere sweaters and iconic accessories to elevated versions of all of your everyday basics, not to mention the most incredible incredible home essentials too. Jenni Kayne is here to help you live your best season yet. Guys, I'm obsessed. There is a Jenni Kayne store that has just opened in Nashville, and it is absolutely amazing. I am head over heels in love. It is the perfect brand for not only quality but also comfort. Find your forever pieces at JenniKayne.com. Our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code UNLOCKED at checkout. That's 15% off your first order at JENNIKAYNE.com, promo code UNLOCKED. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about. And how is it like working with each other? Because obviously you've built this company, and how has that been? Because that's a different dynamic, I feel like.
Yeah. We've worked with each other for a long time. So yeah, my dad has a construction company. We worked together there. He actually worked for my dad before I did. And then
that's awesome.
Yeah. And so for us, it's pretty normal. I think that the hardest part for us is turning it off.
Like leaving work at work.
Yeah, which we don't do.
Home.
Yeah. We're not that good at it yet. We're not that good at it yet.
We don't do that.
But we're trying to be better at it. One of our marriage counselors one time when we went to marriage counseling after we had our son, and
which is so healthy. The fact that people have enough self-awareness to say like, hey, we should go do this instead of like pushing it to the side and ignoring it.
No, it was so good. It was one of the best things we ever did. But we went, and he told us on a date night, you shouldn't talk about work or your kids. That was like very challenging for the two of us. But I mean, we still try. We're not that good at it, but we still try to do that. But
that's awesome.
It's like hard. You don't want to like get to the point where they obviously leave and there's nothing there other than
I hear so many people, they're like, okay, you basically have to like reinvent your marriage once kids leave, which is like,
totally.
Scary.
Which is probably true regardless, but I still want there to be some sort of like relationship and connection outside of that. Yeah.
And that's what's awesome, because you do have work that like you get to see these different sides. And too, I'm like, if I'm working with someone, I'm like, oh, that's hot. Like, you know, like watching someone like you love work. I'm like, that's really attractive.
Yeah. He does so good. And we've always like had our own lanes. And I think that that's really good for us is like, I do a lot, well, with Nuuds specifically, like I do a lot of the marketing, and I just trust and that he has the other side.
Yeah.
And he trusts that I have that side, and we respect each other in it. And I think that's a big deal.
How long did it take you guys to build Nuuds?
So Nuuds launched October 28th of 2021. Okay. Or 2022, excuse me. So just 1 year.
Wow. Holy cow. Yeah. That's amazing.
And then, it like was an idea the summer before that. So like 18 months before it started. Not quite 18 months, but yeah. So it took like a year and a half to launch.
Was it scary to go out on a limb like that? Yeah. In the world that we live in, to where it's so saturated, like you can, especially too, like clothing, you can get anything in the snap of a finger.
And I thought like, I knew nothing about making clothes. Okay. Zero. Okay. I think there's so many things. I don't know that I've ever even, but we knew nothing about making clothes. I kind of was like, okay, well, if we, just to be fully honest, we took like a lot of our savings and leveraged it against it. So we were like, oh crap, this has to work. But then like when it was launching, I was like, I don't know anything. I had at that point had never had a clothing company. I'd never used a warehouse. And I had all these people on the other side trusting me as to like, okay. And I'm like, I frankly don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying. And I'm like trusting that people we're hiring know what they're doing. Yeah. And so, it was I think for me, my biggest thing, and I'm sure you can relate to this too, is I just want my reputation protected and my heart protected, because I know that like my heart is good. And I like, for me, the scariest part is, okay, I'm putting this out into the world, and I know like to my core that like I stand behind it and it's good. And I just like hope everyone else loves it and they have a great experience with it, because it's my name on the line, like, and I really value that. Anytime any person gets any piece of Nuuds, like to me, that's like my name on the line, and I like want them, to be happy with it. I tell the customer service girls, I'm like, treat every single customer like it's my sister, because
I love that.
Like if she was emailing you, how would you respond, and because to me, that's how I've like treated these girls for years. And so they're the same girls to me. And so it's just like on a different scale. And I just, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that they feel taken care of in the same way that I've always like felt about them since way before Nuuds. So that's my biggest like thing with launching it, is I always wanted people to feel like, okay, like this is still her at the end of the day. Because it is. I mean, it's bigger than me now. The coolest thing ever is when I get to see someone, we call it, my family and I call it seeing it in the wild. Like when
you're just walking around and you see someone in it.
So we like go to the mall or whatever, and my sister went up to someone and she's like, oh my gosh, your shirt is Nuuds. And the girl looked at her like she was a psychopath. And I was like, I was over there and I was like, yes, she had no clue who you were. Yeah. So I love when people like get to have it and have no clue who we are. Cause like, it's then extended past me, which is like my goal for it. But
so what did you start out with? Like how many SKUs did you start out with?
I'm learning, I don't know anything about warehousing, but I'm learning that SKUs is like each size and colors.
Okay.
He's going to be like, that's not SKUs, but styles.
We had like 900 SKUs.
900 SKUs.
Oh, okay.
You and I would not consider it like that.
But
it would
you
be
meant like, okay, yeah.
styles.
So I guess styles. We're
How
going
many
with styles. He's educating us.
I know. We had a crew neck bodysuit scoop. I want to say like 7. We started with 7 styles in like, I mean, the colors varied in like 8-ish colors each. So that's where I like wanted the full color palette so people could get like the full experience. But we started with the first thing we actually made was the t-shirt, the everyday t-shirt. I like always wanted the perfect t-shirt, and I would buy like, I would buy so many t-shirts. I'm a jeans and a t-shirt person. So like I would buy so many t-shirts and I was like, none of them are perfect. Like they're too thin or whatever. I don't know. I always had a complaint. And then one of my friends was like, you should get this t-shirt. And I looked it up, it was like $150. I was like, all right, this is ridiculous. It's a white t-shirt, $150.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I gotta make something.
It's hard to find, like, I will say, cause see this bodysuit's the first thing I've tried.
Yeah.
Like for me with t-shirts, cause like I have bigger boobs, but like my waist is smaller, and I'm like, nothing ever fits right. So like rarely will I wear like an actual t-shirt. Which,
okay, speaking of making it, when we were making it, we hired someone who had obviously had experience making clothes because I had no idea what I was doing. And so she was like, okay, we'll get a fit model.
Okay.
And I was like, what's a fit model? Like I knew literally zero. And she's like, oh, it's a standard size, like proportionate medium. And I'm all, and then you grade up. I'm like, well, no wonder clothes don't fit people, right? Because I'm like, no one is a standard size proportionate medium and then grade it up that way. Like, of course it doesn't fit. So I was like, no, I'm not doing it like that, which has been a headache for them. I was like, I want to fit it.
They have this one size to go off of, like the industry as a whole.
And it's proportionate, which who is proportionate?
No one.
And so I was like, well, let's fit it on multiple sizes. So I fit it on a 2X, which was super cool because my sister at the time was a 2X and she was like, literally nothing fits me right. Like the proportions are all off because by the time you get to that size, she's like, for example, she's like, in the pants, my calves aren't 10 times bigger. Like they're like, you know, like she's like, it just, everything looks weird on me because they graded it up all funny. And so we were able to do like the sleeves differently. So we changed it like for each size range, which is super fun and cool.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So because in the first year, I mean, you sold an insane amount, right? What was the number? I saw it in the Forbes.
For first year, like.
Or like how many pieces? Units.
I think we sold like 200,000 units.
Yeah.
200,000
like,
units.
That's crazy. Like people don't realize. I think it was more than that.
It was more than that.
It was like 500, I think.
Something.
Yeah. I think.
It was way more than that.
Yeah.
I think it was in the 5s.
Like, I think it was in like 500. See, like that's.
It was in the 5s.
Yeah. I want to say that's what it was.
Oh,
yeah.
Orders. Okay, pieces. Like in the 500,000.
Yeah.
I want to say it was like 500,000 pieces. In the first
which
year.
is crazy. Like people don't realize how hard it is to actually sell that.
Yeah. I honestly think the reason Nuuds is successful at its core is because I actually care about the person at the end of it. Like, and so we cut 0 corners. Like I don't even price. So the pricing of it, tell me how it ranges. So it ranges like Our t-shirt, it ranges from tank tops are the least expensive. I want to say the tank top bodysuits are $48, and then it depends. Like a sweatshirt's $98. We just came out with sweaters. Those are more. I want to say the hoodie is like $128.
Yeah, but that's the thing is you pay for what you get.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
so it's an affordable, it just depends. People's everyday affordable is different. But for me, I'm like, it's affordable and it's cheaper than having to repurchase it every other month because it doesn't wash up well versus paying a good price for it and having it for a long time.
Right. And when we made it, they wanted me to price it beforehand. They always want you to do that, which is weird to me too. But they're like, oh, okay, so what do you want to sell it at? I'm like, that's irrelevant. Let me just make it and decide, like, I want to make it perfect. And then we'll decide based on how much it costs, how much we need to sell it at. And so that's how we've done it, which is backwards. Also, I didn't know. But I was like, let me make it so that the seam does it the way I want it and doesn't cut into you and whatever, all these things. And so we did that and then priced it from there. And I wanted to make it, my goal was to make it attainable because I knew that the quality wasn't necessarily going to be the most affordable on the market.
Yeah.
But I was like, let's just try to make it as attainable as we can to as many people as we can rather than like a $150 t-shirt. It's not going to be Target, but you're also not going to have to replace it.
Yes.
So,
well, and that's the thing. It's like there's another brand of bodysuits that like I've worn just because it's easy. It's hard to find just like a plain bodysuit.
Yeah.
But like anytime I sit down in it, I'm always like trying them my jeans, like trying to unbutton it when I sit down, you know, because like it's so
too tight.
Yes. And this, I swear, I'm not just saying it because you're here. Like it is so comfortable and I love it.
Good.
Like
that makes me
so
happy
comfortable.
to hear. Yeah.
So
I want people to feel more than anything, like with Nuuds, I want people to feel good in their clothes.
the inclusivity of it is like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
The fact that anyone can wear it at any time and feel good. And I love it.
Thanks.
And I too love just like the fact that you went out on a limb, did this, and it is an insanely successful business.
Thank you.
I love it.
We're really proud of it. And like, it's so cool. We get to do it with our family. So like my brother works for Nuuds. Our sister works for Nuuds.
That's awesome. And so like within the past few weeks, you've been doing tons of sneak peeks.
I know. I always do that. It's not their favorite
He's shaking
thing.
his head. He's like,
literally, I spoil everything. So it's fine.
So what do you have coming up that you can tell people?
Yeah. So I don't know when this is going to air. So I'm just going to throw out some stuff.
2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, here I go. You asked for it, so I got to do it. Okay. We have a bunch of different waffles. So we did a waffle. Is that
what you have on? Because I want that so bad.
So
you walked in, I'm like, this is amazing.
It's so fun. So this launched, I want to say like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But then I liked the fabric so much we made it in like a lounge set. So there's like a wide leg pant and like a long sleeve crop tee that goes with it. And then we have like a thicker waffle set that's like a jogger set that comes out in a couple weeks. We did a puffer vest that comes out on Black Friday.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm excited. I just spoiled that.
My God, that's so exciting. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, sweats that come out on Black Friday. And we have tones, which is little kids' version of the same thing.
Stop.
Yeah. And so we did like the sweats for like the whole family because I don't know. I'm not like a matching family Christmas pajama person anymore. But I was like, we could do matching like sweat sets.
That's
it'll be really cute.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So right now, will you ever come out with anything that's like maybe like a capsule or like special item that's like very off the wall? Like maybe like a bright colored
set, we did that in, when was it? August. Okay. We did bubblegum pink.
Okay. And how did that?
That was our fastest sellout ever.
Really?
Well, okay. I'm going to be totally honest. We got so lucky you have to order this stuff like 6 months in advance or more. Yeah. I had no clue Barbie was going to be the thing.
Oh,
when I did it.
That is God right
God
there.
favor right there. Like literally I was like, wow, okay. I'm just like very, lucky here. But yeah, the timing of it was literally like a couple weeks after the movie. So
oh my gosh.
We sold through every unit we had and oversold because when things sell so fast, like the computer doesn't catch up as fast or the system or whatever. We sold everything within 3 minutes.
That is amazing.
It was crazy. It was so fun. So we did pink. I have like other neutrals. We're going to do more colors.
Okay.
Brights. I don't know. We have like our most requested color launches in, I want to say like 15 of our styles on December 1st.
Okay.
And then we have another bright that launches in the holiday.
Okay.
In holiday.
What's your most requested color? They're over here like,
So
wow.
mad. Heather gray. Yeah.
Stop. I'm excited
Yeah.
for that. See that? Oh, that's going to be great.
It's going to be fun. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so
I love it. Well,
that's a
I'm
neutral
now
though.
dedicated.
Thank you.
I'm like a dedicated wearer
love
now.
it. Good.
I love
I'm
it.
so glad to
Okay.
hear
And
it.
so as you know, when you walked in, I told you we've got some like fangirling going on in here.
I love you for it. Okay, let's
and
see it.
the fact that she caught this, I was
I can't
like,
wait to
this is a
hear
good
this.
question.
I want to hear it.
Okay, so she said, you sneakily mentioned that you wanted to make sure your new acne medicine was pregnancy safe,
Okay.
just in case.
Yes.
So does that mean...
Am I pregnant?
Yeah.
Is that the question? I'm not pregnant.
Or like a third baby soon.
Oh, yeah. We definitely want a third baby soon. Yeah, we want a third baby soon, but I'm not
Okay.
pregnant.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yeah.
see, like I was like, the fact that you called and
Yes,
she said
she
she
caught it.
wanted like I was like, she's a
I told my
real-
doctor, I don't lie. That's the thing. I'm like a very, like I announced my pregnancies like right after I find out about
Yeah.
them. I'm like a very open book.
Yeah, because there's this new thing about like lying about being pregnant till after you have a baby. And I'm like, what is this?
Oh yeah, no, I don't even hide it till when, you're
supposed
safe.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I just feel like I share everything. Like if I had a miscarriage, I would share that information. So I
Yeah.
just
Because
figure
it's
there's no-
relatable.
Yeah. And it's just my personality. So I'm just like open book. But when I shared that, it was literally what I told my doctor. I was like, I want to get pregnant in the near future. Like I don't want to go on something that I'm gonna have to change.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I shared that information. A lot of people caught on to it, not just her. And I was like, wait, no, I'm not pregnant. But yeah, no, I want 5 kids. So
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
what's the ages of your kids now?
they're 2 and 4.
Okay.
So when we have our third baby, it'll be further apart than those two.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's
Who
just,
knows? Maybe I've spoken it into existence.
Maybe you are.
Maybe Nashville's like the place it happens,
Hey.
You're here for the weekend, so I'm just saying.
Hey, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we do want 3, our third, right?
Yeah.
Probably, I would say hopefully next year. That would be
Okay.
awesome. So soon. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
All right,
I'm not
so
pregnant yet.
where can people go to find nudes?
Nuuds is at nuuds.com, Nuuds.
Okay.
2 U's, because we didn't want people searching Daryl-Ann Denner nudes.
Yeah.
And so that, mostly
you.
Daniel. So we changed the spelling of it primarily. And it looks
Okay.
cooler, but
Yeah.
primarily because of the, Google search wouldn't be great.
Okay.
You're not going to find anything if you go search
No,
that,
you're
okay?
not.
But we just didn't want,
I
we didn't want
love
a
that.
popular search term.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that's amazing. Because
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, I don't just say this because she's sitting here, but I'm like obsessed. So
Aw,
go
I
check
love
them out.
that. Cool.
It's amazing. And too, I don't know, not to put you on the spot, but if you have like a code for people who are listening.
I
that you could
don't. We
do.
just did our birthday sale. On Black
Ooh.
Friday, we're going to have a special gift with purchase.
Okay, Black Friday.
I'll tell you what it
Perfect.
is.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? Just tell it all.
Okay, so when we do pop-ups, we do like exclusive merch.
Okay.
And our most requested merch is, we always do like a hat, a dad hat. Well,
Yes.
Nashville, we did a trucker hat, but dad hat is like our most requested. And so we got these cutest, it's like a bone-colored cap, like part with like a coffee, dark, the color you're wearing, Bill.
I
and it
love
says
that.
Nuuds. Yeah, and so that's the gift with purchase on Black Friday. It is such a pretty hat, and I'm so excited about it, but no one, you're the first person to hear about it.
Okay, well, I'm
There you go.
excited. So, and this will be what? I think right before Black Friday, right? Yeah, right
Yeah.
before Black Friday.
Oh, perfect.
So it'll
Okay,
be
good.
perfect timing.
Yeah, so that's on Black Friday weekend. I'm so excited
Well,
for it.
I am so grateful that you came. You were
Me
just
too. Thank
awesome.
you.
I absolutely love you.
Same.
And
I'm
now
so happy to
you're
be here.
headed to my good friend Shannon Ford's podcast.
I know. I was telling you right before this, like literally first in-person podcast I've ever done, and I just decided to do 2 in one day. Just,
Exactly.
like,
And
jump
too,
right
the
in.
fact that I've known Shan since I was 16 years old, which
She's
is
so cool.
crazy.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
She is so cute.
Well,
yeah, I
thank
love
you.
her. Oh, well, so good to talk to you. Loved it.